The worst portrayals of Satan?
Yeah.
Oh.
The best is an easy list. I thought you wanted to know who the worst is.
I would say the worst is there's a K. Gordon Murray film, Santa Claus, where he took this. K. Gordon Murray was an American producer, and he'd take a lot of films from Mexico and usually kind of hatchet them and dub them and then repurpose them to American audiences. But one of those films was a movie called Santa Claus, where it's basically Santa versus Satan, and Satan is wearing some tights and little shorts, and it's he's kind of awesome though. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of prefer him over De Niro in this movie. I mean, what's more scary than a guy with like an armadillo in his trousers and red paint on his face?
Did you just talk your worst person to the best slot? Is that what you said?
I would put him honorable mention.
Impressed. I'm impressed.
I would put him honorable mention. I think the best Satan. There's so many. Honestly, you mentioned Phantom of Paradise.
Well, is that Satan? That's just Swan. But Satan as Swan. Swan as Satan?
But yeah, like it's Swan.
It is Swan. Swan's an awesome version of Satan. You're right. He's really high on the list, if not the top.
You know, he's higher than Harvey Keitel and Little Nicky.
Little Nick.
Sorry.
my choice is Viggo Mortensen in The Prophecy.
I thought, did we say hottest Satan?
Hottest and best and my favorite.
He's a good one.
He's great. He's suave and terrifying.
I liked Patrick Bergen in Highway to Hell.
Also good.
Patrick Bergen's good.
I mean, can we not? Peter Stormare or Peter Stormare in Constantine is a pretty solid Satan.
I would say Gabriel Byrne in End of Days he's not bad in that movie.
Yes, he is. Yes,
No. You're a fucking choir boy compared to me, okay?
He's doing like fucking, I'm the Joker, baby, you know, like.
I mean, for me it works.
Flag fly, it's rare for me.
I like to have threesomes and the people meld into my body. Mm-hmm. Is that the part of that movie?
Yeah, oh, God. I have the best Satan. The best. Danny Elfman in Forbidden Zone.
Oh, yeah, that one's real good. Really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be some problematic.
What about Dave Grohl in Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny?
Despite Dave Grohl, it's a really good portrayal.
Wait a second. What does that mean?
I don't like Dave Grohl. I like Dave Grohl as a human being. And as a raconteur, I'm totally with the guy. As a drummer, he's fucking great. That Foo Fighters nonsense, which people are like still looking at as if they're the last bastion of rock and roll. Please, if that's the last bastion, let it all fall.
It is so not the last bastion. Who's saying that?
I'll bring you some noise junkies here to the Kulturecast, baby.
Fucking A, you got two. You got 2 out of 3 right here.
Good Lord. Yeah. What all of a sudden my show's been taken over by these ne'er-do-wells, these scallywags.
Can we make it creepy? Chris, you're like the Oreo filling.
Delicious.
Delish. Give it 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Speaking of devilishly delicious, on this episode of the Kulturecast, we're going to be talking about a little film that stars Mickey Rourke, because guess what? It's all Mickey Rourke movies all month. Okay. Yeah. So this movie.
Who programmed that? You did.
Yeah, must have.
You did.
Oh, that was a buildup that went nowhere.
Actually, this is a, you know what? This is a Patreon month. That's why I didn't remember who programmed.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why I was like, yeah. So this is Patreon. So it's all Mickey Rourke movies, but we're talking about 1987's Alan Parker directed Angel Heart, and I'm joined by my 2 good friends all the way from, like they've already mentioned, Noise Junkies, Father Malone.
Some cultures say something about eggs, and now I'm going to eat that egg.
And Heather Drain.
Hello. I don't have a Robert De Niro quote on hand because I wasn't fond of his Satan, but we will get into that. But I do love Satin, and I do love Merciful Fate.
Satine, I think you mean.
Satine, that's my new drag name. Come on, come to the stage, Satine.
So on this episode, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about 1987's Angel Heart. So the film is directed and written by Alan Parker, who, you know, Bugsy Malone, everybody.
Yeah, baby.
Little Bugsy Malone noise for all you Bugsy fans out there. And it's based on the book Falling.
The entire country of England. That's who you just addressed.
Right. Sorry.
We call them Bugsies. Those are the hardcore fans. Bugsies. We're Bugsies. No, buggers that's another thing, Chris. Come on, sir.
As I consider myself one of
Wait, which one?
A Bugsy Malone fan, for fuck's sake.
Absolutely. You two got me into that movie. So it's perfect that we are reconvening here to talk about another Alan Parker movie.
Always trust a Malone.
It's true.
Few films have ever created this much anticipation. Believe everything you've heard, because nothing can prepare you for the ending of Angel Heart.
Are you afraid? Yeah, I'm afraid.
Mickey Rourke, Robert De Niro, Lisa Bonet. Angel Heart, rated R.
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
So this is based on the book Falling Angel by William Hortzberg, and it stars Mickey Rourke and the aforementioned multiple times now Robert De Niro in a cameo appearance, and Lisa Bonet in effectively a cameo appearance, and Charlotte Rampling in effectively a cameo appearance. I would consider Robert De Niro to have the least cameo appearance of all the quote cameo appearances of the movie. And the film centers around Mickey Rourke's Harry Angel, a New York private investigator who gets involved in a missing persons case looking for Johnny Favorite, as hired by Louis Cypher, the most obvious Lucifer fucking name ever, to apparently everybody but Harry Angel. The film starts in New York. We go to New Orleans as the case progresses, and we learn more about who Johnny Favorite may actually be. We are going to be spoiling the movie, so if if that bothers you from a movie from 1987, I don't know what to tell you. Heather, I'm going to kick it to you first because I know you're chomping at the bit to tear down one of America's screen stars, Robert De Niro. But when did you... I'm joking. Well, maybe not. So when was the first time you saw Angel Heart? What did you think then? And what do you think now rewatching it for the Kulturecast?
Well, I first saw Angel Heart years ago, and it was one of those, I don't know if you guys have ever gone through that experience where you've watched a movie, but it's been a few years, and you're like, oh, I'm going to rewatch it. And then you rewatch it, and you start doubting that you ever watched it in the first place, because it's like...
I've had those moments.
Yes, that was it for me. I do remember being a little kid when it came out because there was a huge controversy because Lisa Bonet was 18 and that wasn't necessarily even that controversy. It was just like she was fresh off the Cosby Show. Everybody knew her as like little Cosby kid, and now she's in this dark noir about voodoo, and there's her little boobies, and oh my god, and which. It's kind of, but America's we're a very ridiculous country and culture, aren't we? So rewatching it, I was really glad I did. I don't think it's a perfect movie, and we'll go into that, but there are some things I really did enjoy about it, and I'm a huge Mickey Rourke fan. I love him. I feel like he's kind of in some ways almost like one of the last of our like really great character actors. And I say that with a little bit tongue in cheek because I think there's always great artists, but and yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys think about it and getting into the weeds here.
Yeah, so Father Malone, take us there. What are your thoughts on Angel Heart?
I saw this movie in the theater on its initial...
One of these days, I'm going to cover a movie where you don't say that.
This one I had to say, because it was Alan Parker, and I was already a fan of Alan Parker thanks to Bugsy Malone, which by the time this movie came out, I had seen Bugsy Malone 1 billion times. And now, weirdly, before I saw this movie, I read the novel Falling Angel by William Hortzberg, because in 1985, William Hortzberg wrote the screenplay for Legend, which you and I talked about here on the Kulturecast, Chris. And after that movie, I was at a book and poster movie script store in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And they had the script for Legend, but the original shooting script, so the actual William Hortzberg's words. Now, originally that script, everyone spoke in rhyme. And the descriptions were gorgeous. And so months later, I was at a used bookstore and I found a copy of a book by William Hjortsberg. I went, well, fuck, need to read that. And it turns out to be this, which when this movie came out, you're absolutely right, Heather. There was a massive controversy. Lisa Bonet had been on The Cosby Show for 2 years at this point, and Bill Cosby was said to have sworn off on her being in the movie, but then was furious that it was as explicit as it was. And the movie got an X rating too. So there was a big firestorm of controversy. So of course I was going to go see this movie. And I did. I snuck in. I don't think I understood half of it, but I loved it. And everything that's at a fault now, some 35, 40 years later, with the movie, as far as the sort of obviousness of it. Look, the Louis Cypher thing, I cannot defend. It like, as a 14-year-old, I was like, oh, the devil, huh? So I get that, but like the other twists, like down the road, I didn't see coming. I don't think most audiences saw coming. This was kind of an anomaly of a studio film, honestly. It's really goddamn dark. So I like the movie. I'm looking forward to talk about it.
So I had never seen this before. It's been on the list of things for me to watch. I'm pretty sure I owned it on DVD or Blu-ray at some point and just never watched it. So, and again, to speak to Mickey Rourke, the first thing I saw him in was Once Upon a Time in Mexico, which is
whoa,
right,
weird,
right? First Robert Rodriguez movie I had also seen. And it was probably like the second or third Johnny Depp movie I'd ever seen as well. So like, again,
wow.
Again, like just some of these movies were just not part of a certain vernacular for me growing up. I mean, other things were, but like some things weren't, and Mickey Rourke just wasn't. But I was getting into those kinds of movies, and so I went with my grandfather to see Once Upon a Time in Mexico in the theaters. And speaking to you, Father Malone, about Angel Heart, I didn't understand half of that movie, and I didn't understand the significance of having Mickey Rourke in that movie because he's in that movie for like literally fucking 2 seconds, but they make like a big deal out of it. So that's all of my complete exposure to Mickey Rourke is Once Upon a Time in Mexico. So obviously he looks a lot different at that point, almost unrecognizable for a number of reasons that I'm sure we'll talk about, and how they kind of weirdly are reflective in a lot of the things he worked on in the late 80s, early 90s, like this and Johnny Handsome, which are both about a guy disfiguring his face.
Yeah.
Disfigured.
He was letting us know.
Yeah, right. He's just, I'm getting ready. I'm just, something's going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this movie more when I sat and thought about it. I think that Alan Parker may not have been the best person to adapt this story, but in a lot of ways, he was the right person to tell it the way he told it. But like the story that is laid out in the novel, best I can tell after doing a lot of research into it, I'm going to read it because I want to know that full story, but getting the story given to me secondhand, the changes that were made seem like changes that were made by someone else because they didn't like the decisions that someone else made, not because they didn't make any sense. And there are things that we will talk about with this movie that seem like decisions that Alan Parker made for Alan Parker to make. And, yeah. And like those may be some issues that we end up having with the movie. All that aside, Mickey Rourke is great. This movie is very dark. It's dark in the way a lot of like extreme torture pornish movies are, but it doesn't show the parts that those movies show. It leaves a lot of it to just, it happens off screen, or do you have to understand the context of it? Like the fact that there is a extended incest scene in this movie. I mean, the fact that it was X-rated has to do with that scene, but that scene is also incest at the same time. And obviously I think I see influences in so many other things that would come after this.
Ain't no old boy without
right.
This baby.
Ain't no Seven without this movie either. Like that was what I kept thinking of was Fincher's Seven while watching this movie. And it probably helped that I had just watched Zodiac over the weekend, which is still like for me peak Fincher, but I saw a lot of Seven in this movie. And like you just mentioned, like Old Boy doesn't exist without this because there are, I mean, again, this is a supernatural story. Maybe like, again, I'm sure we're going to get into it, but I do want to ask Heather, because you were very adamant about it. Robert De Niro as Satan.
Okay, let's just get into it.
Here we go. Settle in, folks.
Oh well, I'm gonna start because I like to be a positive person. The thing I liked I always felt like this about his performances, and then I saw something online actually today doing some some little research for the pod that I'm like, because he looks like Martin Scorsese did circa Taxi Driver. And yeah, he patterned that look. I don't know if it was Taxi Driver specific, but off Martin Scorsese. However, Martin Scorsese in Taxi Driver is way the fuck scarier than De Niro is in this movie. Now, and I'm not a De Niro hater. I think Robert De Niro, especially in his prime, is one of the best actors ever. De Niro is phenomenal. Taxi Driver, going back to that one, that's one of my favorite movies ever. That movie's a fucking masterpiece. Problem with him is the devil. Some of it's not even him. It's not even his fault. Like he's good. He's De Niro. It's ham-fisted. The name alone is ham-fisted, but I could live with the name. The egg thing of him, I did like him rolling, that shot of him rolling the boiled egg to crack it open. That was cool. And that was kind of creepy. If they'd left it at that, or him using his Lee press-on nails to like to crack it open.
Some fucking nails.
My
God.
Because he's evil. You get it? He's evil.
They get longer as the film goes on.
Every nail is a coke nail.
His name should have just been called am the fucking devil. Like, so obvious. But him, okay.
It was so obvious, Heather, they had to have Mickey Rourke mispronounce his name so that the audience would somehow be not able to pick up on it. Like, C-free? Like, come on, bro.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But it's like, and they say he has to hold up the egg and be like, some religions believe the egg is a symbol of the soul. And it's like, okay, yeah, we fucking get it. We get it. You're the devil. And then what's he do? We have to get this nasty, which I don't like hard-boiled eggs either, so maybe that doesn't help, of him putting it in his maw, just taking a big old devilish bite. It should have been a deviled egg. They should have just gone fucking full tilt boogie on this. You're gonna go hammy, baby. I don't want a sandwich. You put that whole fucking pig in the ground and have a luau with it. That's what they should have, if you're gonna do that. But and then the worst part, and I cannot forgive this, because this movie had budget, and this is a beautiful looking movie. Like there are visually stunning, like the cinematography, which I'll get into later. Alan Parker, I mean, he's a master. I love Alan Parker. Like, I kind of agree, and we can go to that a little bit later, that there are some parts of this movie I don't think he was the best director, but then parts of it he was. It's weird, right? But okay, so we get to the grand reveal, and they give him this optical effect of having yellow eyes, and it looks, okay, I'm sorry. It looks so bad. It looks so bad. If this is a low budget movie, I'd make some concessions, because, as somebody who's done DIY art, you make do with what you got. This movie had money. Okay, Eyes of Fire came out a few years before this with far less money behind it, and the yellow eyes on the little evil woodland spirits are fucking scary. And that was an optical effect. Those weren't contacts. But there were also contexts they could have done. Look at Michael Jackson in Thriller. That shit was terrifying. I'm sorry, Weird Al and Eat It had scarier eyes than what they gave De Niro. And then even worse, that little hell child, the grand devil.
That's an optical gone wrong.
That's even worse.
I mean, there are Sega CD games that have more effective. Fucking Argento's Dracula 3D is better than what they gave that baby. That's a bit much, but
okay. I'm going to repost some of your devil criticisms, if I may.
Oh, but I love my devil criticisms.
Okay, here we go. I love that he looked like Martin Scorsese.
I said that was a good thing.
I'm echoing some of your stuff, and then maybe confronting some of the others. So yeah, I love that he looked like Scorsese. I just thought it was so fucking funny.
It is funny, right? I laughed when I saw him. He looks funny, right? Okay.
My God.
Okay,
yes.
I'm just making sure we're all on the same page.
I think his performance is really good. I think it's really solid and in the place where this character is meant to be, because I don't think he's supposed to be scary. Even at the end when he's all growly at Harry Angel, even then I don't think he's supposed to be scary. It's one of the most interesting. It's definitely the quietest, most restrained devil I've ever seen on screen. That alone made it interesting to me. And also, it just seems like from frame one, he's just playing with Mickey Rourke and really enjoying himself. There's a glimmer and a gleam to all of his things. Okay, I snuck into this movie with an older friend of mine who's also not allowed into an R-rated movie. I was 14, as I said, and they're in the cafe, and Louis Saffier takes the egg and he breaks it and he says, you know, some cultures think this is a symbol of a soul, and then he bites into it, and my friend turned to me and said, subtle. He was 16. I was, so it's like it's real obvious. But addressing the Louis Saffier portion of it, the hidden in way too plain sight secret that Robert De Niro is the devil in this movie, in the book as well, it's pretty spelled out. He meets him at 666 whatever street, and and clearly, and when you're reading it, it's even more obvious. Like we see it a couple of times written on screen, but really it says when you're reading the words, on a book page, it becomes quite obvious. And so it became quite obvious to me then that that's just a big misdirect. It's like it lets the audience think that they've unraveled the big mystery of the end to sort of confuse us before we get to the real deal, which is this guy hasn't done it. And in that way, I don't know, I kind of liked it. And I enjoy it every time I watch it now because it seems so clumsy and obvious. What else could it be? Alan Parker is a lot of things. One thing he is not is stupid. Neither is William Hjortsberg. And I agree. I don't think he's the wrong director, by the way, for this movie. I think he's the perfect director for this movie. He just shouldn't have written the script because he came at it, speaking of obvious things, he came at it from the, black magic, voodoo, let's go to New Orleans. The book does not take place in New Orleans at all.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
It felt a little Tales from the at times. Like those
every horror thing is going to feel a little Tales from the Crypt here and there now, Chris. Like
I'm talking about the way that this approaches. I'm talking about the way it approaches voodoo more specifically. Speaking more to the way that show approached voodoo at the same time. Given that, again, like you mentioned, the New Orleans part was completely added on. I mean, that is a contrivance of the plot, and that's what when I say it feels like Tales from the Crypt, I mean, it's voodoo. It's got to be set in Haiti. Remember, right. Remember that shit constantly was like, it's in the islands, it's in Haiti. It's like, oh my fucking God. Do we have to be this on the nose fucking constantly with, and it's like, here it's not voodoo, it's Obeah. Like, it's okay. It's still voodoo. The way you're treating it is still the same horseshit way they treat voodoo in everything, which is it often is borderline racist. Like, and it's not really racist. It's just like, it's just poorly conceived is what I would say, because they always do the same thing, and they do the same thing here where it's, people gesticulating and genuflecting in front of a fire, and then chickens. And it's just like, how many times? It was a good scene, but you know what I mean.
Corrected. It's actually kind of spooky and scary, and it bothered me when she killed that chicken.
But it's a well, you know what I mean? Like it's a well. But,
it's a trope, but this trope was gorgeous,
right?
And appropriate for the story he was telling.
Except, that was my other big problem, because I as a whole, I really did enjoy this movie. But my two biggest problems was I would have liked the Satan. It's not even the obviousness. The fucking eyes. That was awful. I don't know. I wanted something different.
No defense for that, by the way, Heather. You didn't hear me defend either.
No, you can't defend
Jesus
the eyes.
Christ.
You can't defend the eyes.
Alan, we didn't need it.
No, get it. Like, no, we already know he's the devil. You can calm down, baby. Like, it's good. We know he's ooky spooky, but the way voodoo was handled, it to me felt like Tales from the Crypt. Like, I just thought it was kind of almost offensively handled. Like, it was really just like, ooh, here's some tarot cards, and I'm amazed they even knew what High John. That most people that partake of hoodoo, and I'm assuming voodoo as well, Which I think I tend to see it more as an oil. You tend to get it more as an oil, but that's neither here nor there. But there's no mention of Loa. There's no mention of Damballa. Like you don't have any mention of the basic like goddess structure of voodoo. Like if you're going to incorporate somebody's belief system, at least try to have a little bit. I don't know. Like be respectful. You know. I mean, voodoo's not really more scary than Christianity. Look at the Duggars. Like,
yeah, well, I think the script makes that point. They put those words in Epiphany's mouth, like, you know, how is this any better or worse than nailing your God to a cross? You know,
go Epiphany. Yeah, I liked that. The pentagram again.
Okay,
that was obvious. Why not do the symbol of sulfur? Because that's a typical Lucifer symbol.
The problem for me with the movie is, and the problem with the adaptation, and I'm sorry if I'm just going to keep comparing the book to the movie, but I like the movie as it is, as its own separate entity. But if I like it as it is, if you're not going to dissect it, if we start to dissect it, I have to start throwing the book at it. I'm sorry, but in the book, the emphasis is that he's investigating a man who was involved into the dark arts, no matter what the denomination, you know, like he was looking in every corner, in every culture to achieve his goals. One of those is voodoo, and one of the characters was involved in voodoo. Other characters were involved in other forms of dark magic.
Oh, wow.
So
that would have been cool.
And they kind of hinted that in the movie, because Johnny Favorite is not practicing voodoo. He's like doing occult magic.
Yes.
What's weird is like they don't make that distinction in the movie very well.
No,
and the problem is that it's another movie like comparing voodoo to Satanism. It just conflates the two and makes them the same. And
just like Tales from the Crypt. It's lazy. The only thing that I can think of that came out around this time that didn't do this was The Rainbow and the Serpent. But that's because that was the entire point of that entire story. But then the movie, kind of undoes
everything the book was about. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of undoes exactly. Yeah. So you can't win, even when you do write a book that's about the voodoo and what it actually means and like the scientific background. Then the movie is just some horse shit, which is fine. It's some old Wes Craven horse shit. I mean, I can get down with it, but it ain't the book. It's got it's Bill Pullman in a lead role, though.
I like that movie, though. I like it as a fictional.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. But the problem is this thing here where it's just like voodoo is not Satanism. Occult magic isn't Satanism either. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of conflating everything with Satan and Satan worship, or like the ability to conjure Satan is kind of what they hint at. Cause he goes, hey, Cruz Mark says, I saw him conjure Satan one time. Yeah.
I had a question actually about the Cruz Mark character, which for anybody listening, we're assuming you've seen it, but if you haven't, Cruz Mark is a small but very vital character that turns up towards the end of the movie. And he mentions the ritual that is done for Johnny Favorite, aka Johnny Labeling, to try and get out of his deal with the devil by basically doing a human sacrifice and absorbing himself into this young man. This young soldier who ends up being Mickey Rourke. Spoilers.
We said we were spoiling it from the beginning.
Exactly. Also, if you get mad about spoilers, global warming's literally happening, so pick and choose your battle, okay?
Man, I haven't heard anybody piss on somebody else's parade so hard in my entire life, but I'm fucking here for it.
I come at it with love, guys. I have a heart full of love, and if you love truth, come on, babies. But anywho, so they allude to a woman being with him. Now, that's Margaret Cruz Mark. That's the Charlotte Rampling character, correct?
Yes.
She was there for the sacrifice.
Madame Nora.
How come she doesn't recognize him when he meets her in New Orleans? How come she doesn't recognize Johnny?
Because he has a new face.
But wasn't she there? Didn't she see the kid that he...
No, then he went off to the war.
Yeah, so
because he got his face reconstructed after the war.
Right.
I'm going to beat the devil while I'm at my peak of success here, and then fate intervened and dragged him off to war where he got banged up and he had facial reconstruction surgery. Just like John Handsome. Oh my God.
How lucky to have your face reconstructed into like 80s era Mickey Rourke instead of looking Yeah.
Can we talk Mickey Rourke for a minute here? Mickey Rourke was like my absolute hope as an actor because I'd seen him first, I think in Body Heat. No, 1941. He's one of the tank guys in 1941, and I was like, who's that guy? And it's like, oh, he's Irish too. Okay, that's clannish and stupid, but I'm Irish and I grew up anyway, so I was really proud. And then he's super charming, and in each role in each movie, like he just gets better and better, and he's getting like bigger and bigger parts. And then he's the fucking motorcycle boy in Rumblefish. He's just the absolute coolest thing on planet Earth, and I'm so excited. And it keeps going, and I get him here, and he's great. And then, of course, he fell off the universe like for a while, and he became this whole other human being. I keep reading reviews of these movies. Recent reviews where people are like, oh, I had no idea what young Mickey Rourke looked like. I didn't realize he was so hot and, sexy and talented. Like they only know the wrestler and Whiplash from a Marvel movie. It's kind of crazy.
It's very crazy. Yeah, he's so good. Like I'm not shocked because I love him, but like his performance in this, like especially towards the end, the way he handles that, like his raw emotion, and also the fact that like because I kept going back in my mind because there are times where his character is kind of a dick. Like, no pun intended, because he's a private detective, but it's like, oh God, that's brilliant because that's kind of like a subconscious sort of like callback to to the person that stole his soul. Like he's basically in a way like two people, and he's phenomenal. He is so fucking good in this movie. And I just I think more people I wish more people would praise him as an actor now, because I do think the plastic surgery people tend to focus on that. I mean, but like if that's all you focus on, you're missing the point. Like this guy's a great actor, and he's also like a big fan of animals. Like he loves small dogs, and
he has a small dog with him in Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
He always he has a locket that he wears of his Chihuahua that's no longer with us. Like this man truly loves his dogs, and
wow.
he even and he was in what?
I need a bird. I need my bird. Get me my bird. No, the Iron Man.
All those Iron Man 2 fans out there.
His character suddenly has a bird, like that wasn't in the script. It was Mickey Rourke. It was just like, get me a bird, or I'm not doing it.
He's so fucking good. He did a commercial for some like non-alcoholic beer in Europe like years ago, and in it he says, "This is his toast, and this is like my motto for life: to small dogs and goddamn revolution." That's a quote. I love him. Mickey Rourke is a gift, and he's great in this. He's
amazing in the film. And what struck home for me rewatching the movie is it is of absolute 100% importance in these private eye movies where we drop in and we're not given any backstory on the character. In this one, we end up knowing everything about this character, but the same can't be said for like Sam Spade or Philip Marlowe or any of the other characters. You need a charismatic person who just their presence gives us everything we need, just their actions and the way they handle themselves. And that's what he does here, because initially we get nothing about who he actually is. Like he mentions a couple of things about his past, which again, were big, clear warning signs for the audience.
That twist is revealed at the beginning of the movie, right?
Oh yeah.
It's not like a twist, is it? Like I don't like, I feel like the intention of the piece is not to be a twisty piece.
Oh no, it is. It's definitely meant to be a twisty piece.
But like, it doesn't seem like it, because like everything just seems so apparent, but like apparent for another purpose. Like you said, like it feels like they want you to take something else away from this. Not he is the guy he's looking for. Like that doesn't ultimately seem like the point when you kind of know when Robert De Niro goes, "Do I recognize you?" Like. That
he doesn't do that.
Is that not what he says to him?
Of course, that's what
he doesn't do it. Like,
oh no, he does actually.
No, Chris was doing like Meet the Parents to Niro over there.
You know what? That was just a younger version of that.
It was more subtle than that. Come on.
Yeah, you're right.
That was hilarious.
Robert De Niro Bob to his friends. Obviously.
That was hilarious, though, Chris. What? Do you imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin was the devil in this?
God damn it. I like, eggs are the windows to the mind. That's why I like to eat eggs. If Stone Cold is going to take anything away from this movie, it's how much he loves eggs. I love eggs. You love eggs? I love them too. I eat them in the breakfast for protein. My God.
Let's mention something in that egg scene. When he says the egg is the symbol of the soul in these other cultures, before he eats the egg, he says, "Would you like an egg?" And I thought that was fucking hilarious.
He's really funny.
That was funny. I did like that.
Contrast this against the other actor that you put De Niro up against, fucking Pacino. When he did his devil, he was they're having both so much goddamn fun with these roles. Yeah. Like I'm sorry, Heather, I've never done that one for you before.
That was so
Pacino in Devil's Advocate, he's having so much. He's an absentee landlord. Like all of that shit is just fucking gold. And I mean, the movie's not great, but he's having a good time. And if you're an audience member who enjoys watching those actors go for it, you're having a good time too. That's why this movie worked for me, is because I could tell everybody seemingly was having a good time making it.
The problem with this movie, the problems with the movie, to me, were and continue to be not that it was obvious where it was all going. The problem, and it's a big one, is that Harry Angel is a fucking terrible detective.
Yeah.
He doesn't do any detecting at all. He runs into characters who tell him the next piece of the puzzle, and then he goes to them. That's all that happens. And he does so, following from clue to clue, he does so in the clumsiest way possible. When he is tailing Toots Sweet, guitarist in New Orleans, off to the big Voodoo meeting, he follows him for like 10 feet behind with his headlights on. I was like, why don't you just like pull up next to him and say, "I'll ride with you"? And everything, he's less a detective and more of a guy with a pocket full of fake IDs. Like they're doing all that work for him of ingratiating him, because as soon as he has ingratiated himself to his mark to get information out of him, he immediately announces, "I'm a private eye, and here's what I need from you." He's the worst.
I didn't initially have a problem with that, but you're 100% right. Like I would say if you're somebody that loves detective stories for the art of the mystery, of the art of solving a mystery, and like you want to go full like Jessica Fletcher on this is not your mystery. Because it's not, kind of like what Chris is alluding to. It is a mystery, but it's not that hard of a mystery to solve either. So yeah, no, that's fair. I think though, one of you guys helped me kind of further nail why I think my problem with De Niro in this, and it's not that he's bad, because it's Robert De Niro. Like I'm not gonna be that hot take person that's no. De Niro's great. He's a great actor. He's a phenomenal, phenomenal actor. I don't think that's an argument. He is funny and he smirks. And I think maybe for me, because the film is so dark and it actually is really, I think one of its strong suits is that it doesn't sugarcoat it. Like this is fully committed to the story. It's fully committing like, okay, we're going there. We're going dark. I think I wanted a disturbing Satan. I think I wanted a scarier Satan that kind of just creeps under your skin. Like you mentioned Pacino, like, you know how Pacino at the end of Godfather 1, I think that's chilling. Yeah. Like, cause you just see a changed man. You see a man that's basically has lost his soul. And it's like his eyes, to quote the great Robert Shaw, he's got black eyes. Like a doll's eyes. Like a doll's eyes. Like a doll's eyes. But you know what I mean? Like it's so
kind of like a top. I listened to an interview with Alan Parker about this movie. Mm-hmm. And he said he got a call from Robert De Niro in Paris. Well, they were prepping the movie, and De Niro was over there shooting something else. And he said, I found a cane. I think my character should have a cane. There's these beautiful antique canes that this dealer has here. There are about 20 that I think we could choose from. Like, any one of them would be good, but I want the options. So could I buy them? And he said, of course. How much are they? And he said, well, they're all about $10,000 each. And Alan Parker said, I'm going to put a man on a plane with a Polaroid.
That's why we got those shitty eye effects. De Niro and his like bougie
He was
canes.
buying all the canes.
We could have had like professional contact lenses, but Mr. De Niro. Also, hearing Chris's Pacino is now my new favorite thing.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chris.
It's to your point, to both of your points, it's not like he's in a different movie, but the movie that Mickey Rourke is in is so dark and so overbearing. I mean, again, I mentioned Seven because the atmosphere in that movie is a character unto itself. It is just, there's a lot of dread and there is a suffocating nature. And look, New Orleans is not in the book, but if you want to go somewhere where people are going to look sweaty as fuck constantly and really get something out of that, New Orleans is where you go. And they get a lot out of it, but all of that oppressiveness of the environment is not mirrored in what De Niro is doing. That's fine. It's just, to your point, Heather, like it could have used a different kind of character, but I think when you've got De Niro, it's like, well, he's going to do what he's going to do, which again, like you make your deal with the devil when you have someone like De Niro in your movie. I mean, again, it's a Faustian bargain of its own kind of, I just watched Brazil for the first time. I'd never seen it before. And he was so distracting in that movie. And I was so worried that he was going to be distracting in this movie. And he's not at all distracting, even though he's doing something that is at odds with the story that the movie is telling.
Evidently was offered the role of Harry Angel and read the script and said, no, I want to be Cypher.
I mean, it's the more fun part.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we do this?
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good performance. I don't know. It's such actually a minor part of the movie. What I like about the movie ultimately, as it is, even though it should have just been set in New York and not New Orleans, is regardless of that, it is absolutely gorgeously filmed. I watched this with my girlfriend last night, and about 3/4 of the way through the movie, she said, by now I would have found something to distract me from the period piece-ness of it, like there would have been some sort of anachronism. She was like, this feels like they just took modern cameras back to 1955. And I think that's totally true. It's like, it's really a great looking movie and very well considered. It feels like an Argento movie if he had a little more eye toward plot.
How dare you?
Oh,
no, I'm joking.
I'm right. I mean, I've never watched Argento for the story necessarily, but I also I found out that initially Parker wanted to, because it's a noir, wanted to shoot it in black and white, and he was told absolutely not. And now, if you watch the movie, he drained any primary colors out of it. It's all muted. It's all grime and grit and earth tones, except red for blood. That is bright and pounding anytime we see it. Also, like the oranges in The Godfather, since we've just brought up The Godfather, the fan, anytime we see a spinning fan, someone's about to die in this movie. The other thing I fucking loved in the movie is that every time Harry enters a scene, the first thing he does is play with the murder weapon. And then the scene continues, and then that up to and including the gumbo. He picks up a crab and tosses it into the vat of gumbo where the guy's going to end up soon afterwards. All of these things are great.
I actually thought that the fan thing was, follow me. I was under the impression that the fan was talking about what is and isn't reality of what's going on. Because at some points there's the spanner of the works, but the fan would spin one way. And then sometimes, because there's a lot of mirroring in this movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, looking into the mirror. De Niro says it at the end of the movie about, you can sneak up on a mirror, but your reflection will still be, something to that. And they show the fans spinning one way, and then they show them spinning another way. And it is somewhat congruous with what we're perceiving as reality. And then what I guess is the unreality, because there are flashback scenes to someone else's life that Mickey Rourke is seeing. And then there's just like hallucinations, and those hallucinations come in the form of all kinds of different things. There's a moment where he keeps hallucinating this like elevator and seeing this elevator going up and down. And it's again like there's a lot of that going on.
And a woman in black who he keeps in each of his dreams / hallucinations, he gets closer and closer to her. One time he gets closer to her in person and he gets the shit kicked out of him. And at the end, it turns out to be clean shaven Robert De Niro.
I didn't understand what that was. Cause I mean, you could read it as the woman in black is the woman that he was having that affair with.
No, I believe
right?
that was when he made the deal with the devil. That's how the devil appeared to him.
But why is the devil cleaning up after him?
Just like he has changed his face, the devil has changed his own. He's now
why is the devil doing that? Like, because like there's got to be like there's like a plot reason for everything in this movie. Okay. That's why I ask.
I don't know that I can speak specifically to why he did that, other than the weirdness factor of it. And of course, Harry is always making his way toward the devil. Johnny Favorite is making his way toward the devil. These are Johnny Favorite's hallucinations and memories that are happening. But ultimately, when you step back and think about the entire plot of this movie now, for it to actually make sense, and it does, what this is a revenge tale where the devil is marionetting a guy to kill everyone who ever helped him and he ever cared about, even in his twisted, horrible, evil way, making him kill them, only to make him realize that he did it afterwards and then take him down to hell.
Right.
That's what's happening, right? It's horrifying. I mean, the guy deserves it because he's a fucking horrible, terrible person. But we're just watching this horrible thing enact itself. And poor Harry Angel.
I know.
Poor Harry Angel back in 1943, because this ain't him.
I thought for a second you were going to say because he's a fucking terrible detective.
But he is a terrible.
You're like, that alone, you're damned to hell. And that's something I really love so much about Mickey Rourke's performance, is that I really got the feeling, especially when you do have the big reveal, that it, in some ways, it's still like, it's like Harry Angel is still in there somehow. And it's like, he's really like two people. And it's just like, I can't even imagine like just how that would mess with your mind and your heart and your soul if you found out, not only are you not who you yourself, but the person you truly are is this horrible human being who's a murderer, who committed human sacrifice, knowingly just had awful, terrible softcore sex with his granddaughter, Lisa Bonet. And even though she doesn't,
it's his daughter. Yeah,
that's his daughter.
Oh, why do I keep thinking granddaughter?
Because she has a baby.
The little kid. Yeah. Okay, yeah. His daughter.
Right.
Either way, it's terrible.
I mean, it's fucked up. The movie doesn't even hang on it either. It's just like, you banged your daughter. Okay.
Yeah. But
by the way, that's the other thing. Like, she tells a story about getting fucked by the devil and having this baby. So that was De Niro. So it's another fuck you to Harry Angel via the devil. Like, oh, by the way, we're really related now because your daughter's child is my child as well, or
Also, I tapped that first.
Yeah,
you got cut. Would that be a great Van Halen song? Cucked by the devil. Cucked by the devil. What?
It would be
for this movie.
Where's the Motorhead like outro song for this movie? Cooked by the devil.
God, that would totally be the.
Yeah. I mean, Hellraiser 3 had a fucking Motorhead song. Why couldn't
the best thing about Hellraiser 3 is that Motorhead song?
Best thing about Hellraiser 3 is the guy with the camera.
Compact disc in his face, man.
The guy with the camera for a head is my favorite part.
The twins, they were like stuck together, man.
I would give either one of you a kidney if you needed it, but come on, that Motorhead song is a banger. Come on, Hellraiser.
Yeah.
And oh my god, the music video where
it's great.
Lemmy plays chess with Pinhead and Lemmy wins.
Yeah,
it's so good.
This movie needed a little bit of levity at the end. Really
it needed some levity.
Take us out on a high note.
By the way, so one of my favorite bits in the movie, and this is an Alan Parker thing, when he goes to visit that couple on Coney Island, which is beautifully shot, by the way, that wide open space, real only nature shot we get, and it's still grimy and gross. That guy gives him a nose guard that he now wears like inappropriately throughout the rest of the movie, just like making him more gross, which I think is just a nod to Chinatown with Jake Gitz getting his nose cut. You know, there's a lot of there's a lot of Chinatown references. In fact, when Mickey Rourke is interviewing or not interviewing, but like harassing Toot Sweet in the bathroom, and the guard grabs him, throws him up against the wall, and puts the chicken foot up to his nose. It's exactly like, you know, what happens to nosy people? They lose their noses.
Oh my God. Yeah, that scene in Chinatown always squirks me out. I just thought of your nostrils sliced like that. It's so effective. I love, by the way, what you said about the landscape and the cinematography in this movie. I agree so much. This is a gorgeous, like, between the cinematography, which is Michael, and I'm going to try and say his name right, Michael Saracen, this great New Zealand cinematographer who I'm sure, as Father Malone knows, has worked a lot with Alan Parker, including Bugsy Malone. And between his cinematography and just the composition, it's like Alan Parker really does know how to give a landscape, a building, a texture, a space, oomph to it, to where you just feel it, like everything. And it's also a great exercise in showing, I think, current filmmakers, you could have desaturation and still have your image look textured and rich. Because I think the problem is, like, you know, I see like films now where it's just, oh, we'll just put a blue filter on something, or oh, we'll just bring down a color on this. But they don't understand, like, you still need to light stuff. If you're doing something, like you're trying to do something retro and be like, oh, we'll have it black and white or look like this. People back then knew how to light stuff to give it depth, to give it a palpable feel to it. And, you know, that's kind of what separates the weak from the strong when it comes to visual, like, movies and visual arts in general. Every frame in this picture looks phenomenal. And there's no but to that. I did have a little quibble, not a strong one. I could have dealt with less saxophone in the soundtrack.
Oh, me too. You know what? I could deal with all the saxophone. What I could not deal with was the discordant minor key piano canoodling at full fucking volume. That would be a transition from scene to scene.
Thank you. That was also in my notes.
All of that is in service of trying to get the audience to realize that it's Johnny Favorite, because isn't that they talk about the song, and that's them playing that, like, those are like the opening keys of the song, right?
Yeah, but you know,
I mean, it's just like they keep reinforcing. Look, right. And the thing with
the most subtle and most annoying way to.
And I thought the thing with the nose guard was because he had plastic surgery, and didn't your, like, nose melt back in the day if you were out in the hot sun?
No,
wasn't that a thing?
I don't know, but that is certainly not why the character got it. He got it because he randomly ran across a guy in Coney Island who gave it to him. Also,
but it could reinforce the idea that he had a changed face, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but he already had the changed face. It didn't mean he needed to keep wearing it throughout the rest of the fucking movie. We get the one scene with him with the fucking nose guard on. We go, oh, I got it. But it was actually supposed to pay off. The last shot in this movie, when he takes the elevator on down to hell, was the elevator door opens. He steps off into this black void and reaches into his coat and puts on the nose guard. And then that was going to be the end. And then Parker was like, I don't know. It seems too funny. We can't end on a funny note. And I wish he had, because that's what that guy would have done.
Well, might as well after, like, the Goonie. I'm sorry, that baby, that shot of the toddler with the cartoon eyes. I cannot, like, oh, it's a devil baby. Oh no, it's a devil baby, guys. We got a devil baby. It's just so, it's bad.
A terrible, it's a head superimposed on a body that's moving. And so the body and the head aren't moving in concert. It's so weird.
I mean, Clutch Cargo had more dignity than that optical effect.
Had moved mouth.
Looked like Bruce Lee and is it the
oh god
Game of Death, where it's like just like a cut out in front of his face. It's not great.
That's not great
and not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
No, again, that's what I was getting at with, like, there's a lack of subtlety in this movie that I don't know why there needed to be a lack of subtlety when, like, given the amount of unsubtle things that they do, starting with Louis Cypher. Like, there's just, I don't know, it's like there's a lot of things where when you watch it the second time, you're like, right, and that, and that, and that, and that. It's like, I guess if I had just listened the first time, I would have like gotten it. It's like, it doesn't feel like it's hard to pick up on. Not in a bad way is what I'm getting at. It's just some of the unsubtle stuff, like the piano thing. It becomes like, or the heart beating becomes a little much.
Oh, I kind of liked the heart beating. I actually but I didn't like how anytime there was like a grisly discovery, you'd hear a scream that wasn't coming from anybody. That's what it sounded like to me, where it's like, wow, but because it made me think of the stings you would hear for Baywatch Nights. It's still, I don't know. And if I'm thinking of Baywatch Nights, I can't be scared. I can only be delighted because I'm thinking about David Hasselhoff finding werewolves and stuff. I mean, that's a place of pure joy. That's not terror. And that's a whole.
He was probably patrolling these streets at that time.
I bet he would have outsmarted the devil.
New Orleans Nights.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
New Orleans with the.
And
Steve Seagal in here. I hear he's a lawman in these parts.
Oh God,
he's only interested in being a lawman in places that are the desert where he can harass people that don't look like him. That's what I've heard.
That's terrible.
Steven for you, folks.
When I said earlier that there were some things in this film, I thought because I'm Alan Parker, as I think we all do. And I think as a whole, he did a great job with this. I feel like though the one thing in particular where I felt like I don't think this is the right fit for him was honestly I didn't care for the voodoo scene, but I could live with it. The sex scene, I was like, I just kept thinking of like, God, what would Ken Russell have done with this? And that's not fair to Alan Parker.
No, not at all.
Because nobody, and I'm admitting that, but I can't help it. This is where my brain goes to, because I love Ken Russell. Like, I'm a Ken Russell fangirl. And I don't know, Alan Parker doing a sex scene, because even like with the nudities handled in this film, I don't know, it just felt like, I'm like, well, you got a boob in there, but I don't know if you're handling it well. And that sounds like your mom joke or whatever. That's what she said joke. And I don't mean it like that. I don't know. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. Obviously, I'm not a prude, but I certainly don't mind nudity at all. But I don't know. There were moments like that. It just felt to me a little bit like maybe slightly out of his wheelhouse. But also knowing the book, I want to read the book now. What you said about the book comparatively, he shouldn't have written the script. The whole New Orleans thing, you're right, is hokey, especially because like throughout the South there is like practice of like, if you're gonna do hoodoo or voodoo, that voodoo that you do, it's all throughout the rural area.
Right. And here's the thing. In the book, they don't go to New Orleans because New Orleans does not figure into it at all, because what they're really doing is commenting on like how these rich old white bored people are like, they've taken everything from everybody. Now they're taking their dark religions, like that. Mm-hmm. That's how much of a plaything everyone is to them. Like the final sort of sequence there's okay. One of my problems with the movie is it's all exposition heavy, and that's not a problem necessarily, except we never see any of it. When the guy's giving the big speech at the end, telling us all these events that occurred, I was like screaming, like, we could see this, it's a movie. You have a camera. What you're describing sounds fantastic. What happened inside that room? The movie keeps showing us a shot of an apartment building, this desaturated gray and gross apartment building with one window like lit red with the fan spinning in it. And we get flashes of something that happened in there that was horrible, but we don't get anything really. Like during the sex scene, we get flashes of an orgy for a moment. There's all these white people and that was a scene that was supposed to be from the Kruzmar character's description. Like we were also involved in to balance out. Black people were doing it, but guess what? The white people were doing it too, and we were doing it way worse because they're just doing their rituals. We're trying to summon Satan. That's not present here. That's all the book is.
And that's
they should have done that.
And that's what I mean by saying the thing about the occult and like taking the occult and putting that against Satanism too, because like it's not fair for that either, but I mean, again, if you're going to equate one thing with it, you better do both. And they kind of just go, yeah, a cult, whatever. It's like, wait a second. Like, what? I mean, again, because they go to New Orleans. Like, if it were New York, I mean, they kind of, what's funny is in The Devil's Advocate, they kind of touch on the voodoo thing too. But that ends up being a misnomer. There's nothing about it that ends up mattering. But they kind of have it in there as kind of like a little bit of a red herring. Like, oh, maybe he wants you to get involved with that. Here it's like, okay, like the devil wants to be involved and he is involved, but he ultimately doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care that they're doing their sacrifices, but I guess he cares that they're doing them in New York. Like, I don't, like you said, like it's all about, I guess it is all about summoning the devil for their own selfish needs.
That's right.
Right. Great.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know why they couldn't get there. Right.
Well, and there's also to me like an issue with, and this isn't a drag on the film as well, because I love the film, but like I feel like there's always a very big issue when it's like anything that isn't like within the Judeo-Christian construct is all of a sudden just like that's evil, that's dark, you know what I mean? Like it's
I get that.
Because
I think Alan Parker wasn't coming at that from that angle. I think he was coming at from the angle that voodoo is so close to like Roman Catholicism, which is the other sort of dominating thing, which is funny ultimately because we're talking about a character named Johnny Lieberman.
Yeah.
Is it Lieberman or Liebling?
Liebling.
Oh, Liebling. Okay, so what was he? He wasn't German. I assumed he was Jewish. I thought that was another funny sort of take on it. Yeah.
I mean.
Oh.
The transformative nature of Satan.
Oh my God! What is going on?
I don't know where we are now.
I don't even know. What is life? No, and I don't think Alan Parker himself was coming at it from that either. Like that's not me dragging him.
Oh yeah.
I just in general, I feel like that's kind of a complaint and for me, but it's also just kind of like, it's like, oh, here's some tarot cards. It's scary. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, the book, I think if they'd heightened that whole thing of just like, no, the real evil, it really is these like awful white people. I'm totally down behind. I could totally get down by that.
The big ritual scene took place in an abandoned subway in like New York City. Like the voodoo ritual scene does happen, but it takes place in Central Park. It's like it's all this juxtaposition that was going on about this like grungy running down metropolis and the flourishing of the dark arts all about them. It was, I don't know, to me it would have been super cool. I'm not saying that this isn't, because he makes everything gorgeous and it's a tone poem and it's its own thing, but I can't help but compare it to that book because the book was so good.
I know. I want to.
Call Netflix.
I want to get that. Call Netflix. I'm calling Abe Books. I want that book.
Well, and I'm actually kind of surprised that this has never been readapted. I know that they had kind of talked about it in the early 10s and nothing ever came of it, but this feels like ripe for reinterpretation in some way. Like, and look, Chris Nolan credits this movie with Memento. He says that this movie inspired Memento. I get it. I get it. Sure. I would like to see somebody reinterpret this story in an interesting way. And I think that there are different directions that you could take it. And, it is a supernatural story because it's the devil, but we never really see anything supernatural happen. That's the thing that I appreciate about this movie is what do we see ever supernatural other than the eyes of somebody going yellow? That's it, right? Like, we never see anything supernatural happen. Like, it's that this guy sacrificed someone, and then we're just assuming that meant everybody's on the level and he ate a guy's heart, but we never see it. The only things that we see are like after the fact, what we believe to be the interpretation of these things happening. I might even posit, do we know that he actually killed any of those people? Right.
It could have been the devil. I think in the book, it is the devil who's actually doing all the killing, and then he's framing Harry.
And he's being like mobilized here. Like, I guess the devil's working through him. But like, again, there is a possibility to interpret this that he did none of these things. Because again, who knows what you can trust at this point if you can't even trust who you are. And that scene at the end when Mickey Rourke is looking into the mirror and just, I know who I am. That right there is peak acting.
Kind of hard.
Fucking great. Because again, I mean, the kind of the fuckaroo of the movie is, I don't think Harry Angel is a bad person. He's not presented as one.
He was a promising young man.
Right. Who just happened to be dropped off in Times Square in like a year after he essentially disappeared.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't have any memories before then. And it's like, well, fucking there's a reason for that.
Yeah. Well, and like all of the touches, because that's the thing. And, you know, and I will say, like, one thing I do love about this movie, this is one I was like, well, there's a lot of things I love about it, but I was like, this is one of those movies where I was like genuinely excited to talk about, like, ooh, like, I can't wait to hear what you guys say about it, because there's a lot to dive into. And with his performance, like, I kept thinking back of little touches all throughout before I knew the ultimate twist. And it's like, because I kept thinking, like, man, he's unusually kind of physically intimate with, like, Dr. Fowler, like that character. And not intimate, like they're not making out or anything, but it's like he's in that bubble. Like, he's touching his face. He doesn't know this guy. He does it a little bit with Margaret Crew, the Charlotte Rampling character, which honestly, I will say this. I will criticize how little Charlotte Rampling we get. Like, how can you give us Charlotte Rampling and have her for like 3 minutes? Like, it's Charlotte Rampling. Come on. Like,
he's in 2 scenes, effectively. Like, it's
and barely.
Alan Parker effectively is afraid of what you were saying, Chris, about showing the supernatural element up into showing just the accoutrements of it. Because why weren't we seeing Charlotte Rampling in the past with Johnny Favorite? You know, doing their thing. And we could have shown it. We could have, in fact, had another actor playing Johnny Favorite in those scenes, because he wouldn't have looked anything like this guy, right?
Yeah. Well, and that is my problem with the narrative, is like, there were ways to tell this story where you didn't not show anything. And it feels like they were expecting, by not showing anything, that was going to make the twist work 10 times more. And it's like, I don't think that that's the way it works. All you have to do is make the twist compelling and help it recontextualize everything that you've seen up until this point that kind of in parts don't make sense. But when you have the key to decode why those things didn't make sense, they all of a sudden make sense because they've been recontextualized. That's the best kind of twist, is one that recontextualizes the movie. And it does, because they don't show anything. That's the problem. They don't show shit. So they're like, well, all these things happened. Let me tell you what happened. And it's like, what the fuck?
We're not getting a different perspective. We're getting a perspective.
Right.
You
Americans, you love to say, let me tell you something, and let me that's what that feels like. They just like break down exposition for 10 minutes. It's like, come on, movie.
I love, you just quoted one of my favorite bits from Meaning of Life. Thank you for that.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, as somebody who once worked with somebody, I used to work with a guy that was very much like, well, I got something to say about this, and I'd always think of death and like,
shut up, you Americans.
Yeah,
you Americans.
It did crack me up, kind of the tonal whiplash of her father, how he went from, to me it seemed like at first he was like, oh, Margaret, always a weird child, always getting into these strange things. Then by the end he's like almost like jizzing his pants about, it was glorious, Satan. Like, it's like,
I love that. Oh my God. That tonal shift was gorgeous.
I know. It's nonsense. And I know
that guy, I don't know the actor. I'm sorry. And I should now seek out more of his stuff, because he was super good.
Oh my God. That I have to say, I haven't seen a tonal whiplash moment in film that has delighted me that much since Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies, where Shane Douglas from ECW. See, Chris, I know you'll appreciate my wrestling buddy over here, where, you know, he's accused of murder and he's like, I did no such thing. And then the guy's like, may the truth be the last thing that comes out of your mouth. And he's like, that's right, I fucking did it. And I loved it. That shit is comedy gold. I mean, it's obviously Angel Heart. It's handled a little with a little more finesse, but it's still, I still appreciate it, is my point. And the actor does handle it. Just, that was a great blend of like funny, but really like, whoa, okay, we just went into another land. But it would have been nice to see it. And again, maybe that's the other reason why those will, I mean, other than the poor optical effect, all of a sudden having goat eyes when you've seen nothing is either going to work tremendously because you have the uncanny, all of a sudden, like a glimpse of the uncanny, and that shit can actually work tremendously well if it's handled correctly. But if it ends up looking like I was like almost like MS Paint bad. I can't.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. Can I just say though, in 1987, 14-year-old me was completely freaked out by both those sets of eyes.
Oh my God. You know what? I can admit this. 6-year-old me, Thriller, those gold eyes. Oh, I'd almost pee my pants. Scared me so much. And now like Michael Jackson's werewolf. I was fine with the werewolf. I was like, that's awesome. That werewolf's cool.
It was beautiful.
It was just him as his like regular self, and then he turns around, that last shot of Thriller, looks around, and he's got the yellow eyes. Oh, hell no. Hell no.
It felt like that's what they were going for here. And it just like, I don't know, they do it with De Niro and they do it with the kid, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work either place. And again, it's like, why are you afraid to inject any amount of supernatural into this? This is a story about a guy who ate another guy's heart and absorbed his soul, I guess. And then the soul ended up taking over the original guy's body. Or again, like they never explain why he's not an asshole anymore. Like they just go, well, he was shell shocked. And it's like,
Yeah.
If Parker didn't want to embrace the supernatural at all, the final scene should have been between Harry and De Niro, and De Niro reveals that like he's his psychiatrist or something, or a cop or something like that. Like, I've been chasing you this whole time. This has been you dummy. You have a split personality and you're a psychopath ever since the war. I mean, he's still going to hell, like, you know.
Well, that's the thing. It's like what we end up seeing is a guy who, for all intents and purposes, killed a bunch of people, and the people who would arrest him and take him to jail would have no idea why he did it. And he will rot on death row. Like, that is what happens to Harry Angel. Yes, he goes to hell at the end of the movie, metaphorically. Like, it's not literally, because everything that's happened in this movie, none of it has been supernatural. So I've got to assume that it's a literalism other than Robert De Niro and the yellow eyes. And that is the ultimate problem. How can you be afraid to tap into those things when the movie is about the fucking devil making a deal with? Even Phantom of the Paradise taps into it better.
Oh my God. What do you mean even? Phantom of the Paradise?
It's not, Phantom of the Paradise isn't necessarily concerned with doing that either. It has the same thing of like, it's taking place in the real world. And so we have to have like some sort of real world conventions that dictate it. But even that is more interested in having a kind of something to say about it versus this. It's just like, oh, he's the devil and you're going to hell. It's like, yeah, he killed a bunch of people. Yeah.
Well, they show you the deal making with the devil in that movie. Here, we take everyone's word for it because that's all that happens in the investigation. He goes to somebody, they go, here's what happened. Okay, thank you. And the frustrating thing in the script for me is we don't just get an exposition dump from a character. We get a second exposition dump from Harry to Cypher. Like, he just regurgitates the thing we saw in the last scene. I was just like, okay, that's fine. We're getting
also that,
and then they keep layering on dialogue from the last scene. Like, he'll be driving and we'll hear the key words from the last sequence, like, I just want to find him, I don't want to kill him. Okay, yeah, we just heard it. Meanwhile, I did love this movie.
No, I did too. That's the funny thing. I will say that gumbo looked disgusting. I'm not a gumbo person, but I've seen good looking gumbo. That gumbo was very
boiling
brown.
vat. Nothing is going to look appetizing boiling in a vat like that.
No. But I mean, I didn't see. It just looked like the gruel. Like, it just was like, yeah, Southerners will eat anything. Here, let's make it brown. Let's make it brown and bubble.
Gotta go get more of that.
That's huh? If it's gravy, I mean, yeah, Southerners will eat that. I mean, Chris, am I right?
That's true.
We do love some gravy.
I'll tell you, I ain't covered in gravy.
Stone Cold.
I wish they hadn't cut the line out of the interaction at the beginning, their interaction, De Niro and Mickey Rourke, where he goes, "Do I spy a Southern accent?" I wish they hadn't cut that line out so that they could have been even less subtle than they are written.
Yeah, right.
It's what's weird to me is like, for all the unsubtlety, the things that they should have done, like they just don't do them anyways. But the movie, to your point, Father Malone, I still enjoyed it. Like, I watched it 3 times, and one of those times was the first time. The other 2 times were by choice because I mean, well, one more time was by choice, so 2 times with a third. But I enjoyed it, and then I spent a lot of time doing a lot of research about, again, the vast amount of imagery that's in the movie, like the up and down with the stairs. There's a lot of stair imagery of things going up and down. I mean, again, the movie ends with him getting in an elevator and going to hell. So how on the nose do we need to be here? Oh, wait, completely punched us in the face on the nose.
Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, I mean, that's what
elevated
it feels like a Tales from the Crypt ending. It does. And like, even with the lack of, like, it's not ambiguous what happens, but it's a metaphorical ending, and that feels like a Tales from the Crypt thing. Like, Tales from the Crypt sometimes did the literal ending, but sometimes they also did like this metaphorical thing. And I don't know. I think it ultimately works, and I think that's because Mickey Rourke is so charming, ultimately charming in the end.
Do you think he believed he was embracing the supernatural with the hallucinations and the dream sequences? Do you think, like, because in some of those scenes, like when Harry
and the lady in black, you mean?
Yeah, well, no, yeah, like Harry's walking down the street like he's going to get a cup of coffee and a cheeseburger while the speed freak doctor is going to be sleeping it off, and he walks past a church with its door banging open, and then he goes to look in, and there are 2 nuns who like look at him in unison, and then the elevator arrives and the door opens by itself, like, and then he shakes that image off. But that happened. He wasn't sleeping.
Right.
That was
he saw
great scene.
He saw the woman in black. He saw the woman in black too. Him and the lawyer did.
Right.
Like, that's what I don't get. Like, there's shit in this movie that actually makes no sense, because he sees the woman in black. In reality, is he seeing her? Or is he seeing her? Are they both seeing her the same way? Or is only he seeing her one way because the story is being told from ostensibly his perspective? Like, that's what I can't figure out. And Alan Parker doesn't seem to be interested in giving any answers or writing a story that answers those questions that it seemingly asks, intentionally or not.
Well, he's too preoccupied trying to get this serpentine plot into a 2-hour movie. In that regard, bravo, you did that, but maybe give it to somebody else. I don't know. Maybe give it to a screenwriter, William Hjortsberg.
Yeah. Let the guy who wrote it direct.
Or just write it. How about that?
Yeah.
I think his direction is beautiful. This is a studio movie out of 87, and it looks great. And ultimately, he was getting away with a lot here in 1987 in America. Like, this is a movie about a guy who's investigating himself, killing everyone he's using to investigate, and then eventually having sex with and killing his own daughter before being carted off to hell. This is a fucking hugely dark movie in the middle of right on rah-rah Ronnie Reagan's America. So in that way alone, it stands as an achievement and would not have happened without Alan Parker. I know that there were a lot of people trying to get this movie made for a long time. The book came out in 78. Like, I think John Frankenheimer was going to do it at one point, and Dustin Hoffman was attached at one point. Robert Redford was attached at one point. But the tone of the movie, I think, is correct directorially. I just wish, once again, it had a better screenwriter.
I think that's the crux of it. Yeah, because I think the direction's great. I just, like, there's so many, and I feel like, I hate feeling like it's only equivalent because I loved it. But I think when you see something that has, like, so many strengths, you want everything else just to kind of, like, you want the little things to rise up and just make it that much sweeter, maybe. Like, if something's just mediocre and there's no vision attached to it, you don't really care. Because you're just like, this is a lost cause. But I definitely think not having the New Orleans setting would have solved a lot of the problems. I mean, right down to the cops, like right out of the stereotypical like overweight, you big city boys. And it's like, New Orleans isn't small town, okay? Like, New Orleans is not a small town. But also one thing, I don't know if maybe a lot of people don't know unless they either have been are from New Orleans or have been friends with people from New Orleans. Native citizens of New Orleans don't sound like they're Cajun. They don't have that accent. Like, they at times it almost sounds like Brooklyn. Ironically enough, like Mickey Rourke wouldn't sound that different.
Maybe they were drawing that parallel.
Yeah. Now but granted, the Cajun guy that when he does meet out in the rural area, that does sound pretty authentic because that guy was English, but Maybe not. I don't know. That's the fascinating thing about the Deep South. I don't know, like especially if you go further up. Like Chris, have either one of you ever been through the Delta? That is the thickest Southern accent. Like I'm from the South, and anytime I've talked to somebody from the Delta, I'm lost. I'm just. It's like Boone Hour from King of the Hill. It's like that's all I hear is like ma'am, and I'm like. So anyways.
It's good to know that such provincial accents remain, you know.
I digress. Yes. Yes. Great. That is the fabric of the country. Every region has its own landscapes. Something very cool about our funny little species. But
Chris, I have a review of this movie from 1987. Would you like to hear it?
Is it 2 words?
No.
Sandwich?
No. It's a movie made by white America that cast a black girl, gave her voodoo things to do, and have sex.
Oh, I know who wrote that.
Pauline Kael?
Mr. Bill Cosby.
Oh.
Yeah, what he didn't mention his real problem with it was that the sex was consensual.
Oh, fuck. Zing, zang, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Fuck him.
She was too conscious and fighting back.
Yeah. His ass should be in prison still.
Also, it's not a movie made by white America. It was made by a British filmmaker.
It's made by a white British guy.
Gave her voodoo things to do and have sex, but, her character is actually pivotal, and it's the true tragedy of the actual movie. And it cannot be overstated how luminous and wonderful Lisa Bonet is in this film. I do not understand why she did not have a massive film career. I met her one time at the New Wilshire Theater in Santa Monica. She lost her glasses and asked me to help her find them. And it was like having an angel in the room. It was bizarre. People talk about that it factor, politicians and game show hosts have. They just walk in and everyone's like, "Oh, who's that over there?" That was Lisa Bonet.
I
love her in High Fidelity. She's great. She's fantastic. That's the only other thing I've seen her in is High Fidelity, and she's great in that. And she has her daughter is immensely talented as well, obviously. So
she might have sold her soul to the devil because she has not.
Yeah, what the fuck?
She has not aged. It's like
maybe it's something to do with Jason Momoa. Maybe it's like he has the secret power.
Yeah,
that guy's 44 and he don't.
Wow. Isn't that how you say his last name?
Jason, the host of Shark Week, Jason Momoa.
Shark Week's own.
I think it'd be hilarious if they did Shark Week on Lifetime.
Da, 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 da.
I'm a woman. I can make that fucking joke.
You did. We heard it.
I did. I made a period joke. What do you think about that, America?
See what these woke females are doing?
They're
on their periods. Topics like selling your soul to the devil.
I would love to go full like Donita Sparks from L7 on guys like Ben Shapiro and just pull out a used tampon and throw it at them. That'd be great. I'm sorry.
And then in the end, I got fucked by the devil. Thank you very much. I see the rest of my time.
You want to talk about real evil when a man hears WAP and all he can, and his reaction is like, there must be something wrong with these women if they're getting wet. This is a man that's married.
It's at the thought of Satan.
It's at the
It's that redheaded devil, if you know what I mean.
Oh, are you saying you can start wearing a t-shirt that says Satan makes me moist?
I mean, that is the implication here, is it not? That Lisa Bonet was getting
that was missing
as like a 15-year-old.
It's like when Harry rolls off of her and she's like, not bad, not as good as the devil. Woo! And Robert De Niro comes in and just like wanks. He's like,
hey,
told you.
Told you we met before, Harry.
Yeah. now we're Eskimo brothers.
Harry, please, we're in a church.
Oh my god, it's funnier when you do it, Father Malone. I think I want to see this movie, but with Father Malone as Satan.
Hey, if they were gonna remake it, I'm volunteering. I'll do it for free. Oh no, I'm with SAG. Never mind.
Don't be a scab. Don't be a scab.
I would not. That's completely joking, and nobody would ever hire me anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, they should. God damn it.
Well, now's the time to hire you if they're looking to hire you, bro. Who are you gonna piss off, huh?
Christ. Hey, I'll read the audiobook if somebody wants to hire me for that. I don't think that
the
Screen Actors Guild.
I don't know what that's considered.
I don't know either. Maybe I'm just gonna reread the book quietly to myself.
You could
do
record
ASMR.
yourself. You could record yourself reading the audiobook.
Oh yeah.
Do
Weirding Way
ASMR.
Media presents Father Malone reading Fallen Angel.
Put on
Yeah.
some Lee Prasa nails and tap them against a hard shell egg while you're
Weirding
reading
Way
the book.
Media presents William Hjortsberg versus Father Malone.
I love the name Hjortsberg.
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 I wish I had a cool name like that.
Heather Drain is a pretty cool name, bro. What the
Drain's
fuck?
Badass.
Really?
What are you fucking talking about?
I had to give
Oh.
myself a fake middle name on
Thank
Facebook
you.
just to sound cool.
I assumed that was your real last name.
No, it's not.
Your
It's
real
my
middle
real
name?
last name. It's not my real middle name. If someone's real middle name is Lazarus, lucky them.
Man, you should change it to Laser.
Laser ass. That would be if I were an Angel Heart too. I would be Laser Mr. Laser ass. I didn't know you were Lazarus.
In researching this project, in 2020, William Hjortsberg
Yes.
put out a second novel.
Yes, a sequel to Angel Heart.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Now to read it, like, found that out today. Shame on me.
I mean, I don't know who was waiting patiently for a sequel to Angel Heart, but I mean, I know you, but you know what I mean in terms of the greater narrative of the world. I saw that too, and I was like, interesting. I mean, I don't know how you do a sequel to this, but all right.
Harry's back.
I hope it takes place in the 80s or 90s, like it's however long it took to put the next book out. You know, the other thing, I know I'm going to stop comparing the book to the movie, but Hjortsberg said that he left in New York. He grew up in New York, left in 1959 to go to college. So the book is set in 1959, not 1955. Parker said it in 55 because he liked the aesthetic better, but Hjortsberg said it in 59 because he said that was the last moment he could remember New York perfectly. Like it would have moved on in some ways because New York always does. So that, and the book functions almost like a travelogue. It is so uniquely detailed of all these different places and events that were going on in New York at the time. You know, as much as it does need a remake. I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Somebody remake it and do it really well, because I do love the movie that Alan Parker gave us. And in some ways, that was the only way the movie was going to get made in the time it was made. And he did the most skillful job he could with it. But let's get another version going.
Robert Downey Jr. is the devil. You guys game for that one?
No.
Actually, there is a quick scene of him in Natural Born Killers where he's got devil horns. That's a cool image. I mean, I don't know. Just put that out there.
You have to have some, if you're going to go, I mean, I guess the question would be, if you remade this, would you have the devil be menacing or would he be charming? Because that's essentially how you cast the person, right? Like,
God, can you imagine Mads Mikkelsen as the devil?
yeah, more or less I do anyways.
I know, same.
He kind of just is the devil as far as I'm concerned.
As sexy devil.
I mean,
just
yeah.
saying.
I mean,
I better be careful because I joked about cannibalism on a previous show, and I got followed by a cannibalism podcast. Which, if you guys are listening, hi.
Wait a second, I don't understand. Like you said something, and your audience found you.
I know that awesome.
The magic of social media.
But I do want to stress. I do want to stress. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat people.
I was gonna say, if a fucking human hand shows up in your mailbox, like,
I'm not going to go, nom, 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 nom. Yeah, eat it like a corn cob or something. I'm not going to do that. I will say
feels
the
like
whole
a missed opportunity, really.
It seems like eating a human heart would be really hard, though. It's not like a really tough muscle. Is it like the heart, the last thing to burn down?
The heart is an extremely hard muscle. And the fact that, I was going to say, he must have some really strong jaw muscles because he ate that thing raw.
Oh my God, what if he looked like Richard Keel?
It's the only way you can get the soul. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Just carve it into small, like, heart carpaccio.
He looked like Jaws from Bond, is what I'm saying. Or a Ferengi. I mean, that's the only way you're going to do that.
Yeah. Again, like, he's like, I saw him eat the whole fucking thing. And it's like, God damn, this guy.
Man, I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, he was really committed.
Yeah, that would have been a 3-hour movie because it'd be like 50 minutes of this guy just going...
gnawing on this dude's heart for an hour. Yeah.
The ASMR nobody wants.
I mean, again, it would have been better than not seeing it at all. So
maybe. I mean, I think an edit I don't think you'd want the full full heart eating edit.
Well, I mean, I mean, like you mentioned in the intro, Father Malone, this movie was originally X-rated, and that was because of that sex scene. And I mean, it's fine. It is gratuitous, and it is gory, and it is over the top. I'm not saying it's not needed, but I don't know, like, how much further could you have pushed it? Like, it's just a fucking boondoggle. Like, if this was not rated X, okay, what would have made this rated X? Like,
have you seen the director's cut?
I mean, I'm assuming what I watched is the director's cut.
Yeah, if you're seeing a lot of his ass while he's thrusting into her, then yeah, that's the director's cut. And you know what? I didn't see that. I saw the R-rated version when I saw it in the theater. So this is the first time I've seen the director's cut, and yeah, it works better with with a lot of those cuts.
Yeah, like, it's like, this is gratuitous for what purpose? Like,
it actually is gratuitous. I think he was just trying, like, I'm pushing it. I'm going to push, you know? Like, the MPAA were a bunch of cocksuckers during the 1980s. So, like, it was only fair to push back at them. But at the same time, movie doesn't need it. Like, not at all. The horror of what's going on is horrible enough.
Right.
You made a point.
Right. And, you know, we've kind of mentioned how everybody dies in the movie, but we mentioned Lisa Bonet. The way she dies is pretty horrific. I mean, they say it in one line, but it's pretty horrific because he stuck his gun up her and shot. That's apparently what happened.
That's awful. Yeah, that was
fucking awful. Like,
it was rough. And also the way that, you know, he races, like, it's like one of the worst for, like, a woman's vagina. I mean, vagina is not a great word, but yeah,
it fucked my head up as a kid, honestly.
I bet.
That image of the white bed and the blood where it was, and then you find out why. It was just like, oh no. Like all of the other levels of disgusting, terrible human behavior that were on display, like, got pushed out, and I walked away with the image of that white bed and what happened there. It's really, truly horrific. And it seems kind of tame now for some reason, because we're 40 years in and we all love serial killers. And after this, someone who's listened to this is going to go listen to a serial killer podcast, you know, but, like, it's really fucked up. Like, I know I keep saying it, but I kind of marvel that Alan Parker got this movie made in 1987.
And that's the thing. It's like the amount of stuff they don't show is because if they were to actually show it, you can't really show it. So it's all, I mean, you know, Seven takes a page right out of this movie's handbook with the thing with Leland Orser and the contraption that Kevin Spacey puts on him. We don't see any of that. We hear about what they found, but we don't see any of it. We see more here than we do there. And I think here it's more effective, just as effective, frankly, in a different way, which is, again, seeing it is pretty grotesque, but it works. And then it's completely ruined by a yellow-eyed baby. So, you know, I think the good with the bad. So, yeah, I'm really glad we watched this, and I'm glad that I've finally seen a movie that's been kicking around my list for a while. And I had not seen Mickey Rourke as the lead in anything. So
sexy fucker.
Yeah, boy.
All the promise of the world. Jesus Christ, what a good-looking Irishman. I was so proud.
Let's end this on this note. Let's talk about the weird metatextual nature of him playing a character who fucks his face up. It is, like, for someone who that then becomes, like, linked with them intrinsically, it is strange that he does it twice within, like, 5 years of one another.
Perhaps he was never comfortable with how fucking gorgeous he was, and felt that it was a liability, and therefore, you know, just a canvas to be molded by multiple punches to the face with boxing gloves.
Go from acting to that sport is just like, man, you know what you're selling as an actor, and to go and do that, it seems like I don't know, it seems really negligent behavior. Well, unfortunately, like, I don't know. It's unfortunate is what I'm getting at. I
mean, I view it, and I don't know his full story, and I'll say that, like, for some transparency, but I view that as somebody who felt, I don't know, he strikes me as somebody who, like, kind of goes from his heart and his gut. And you know, we're all human. Sometimes some decisions are better than others. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. But maybe there's something to be said about somebody who's like, you know what? Fuck vanity. You know, maybe, there's depth here. He's physically beautiful in this area. But you know what? anybody, you know, with a roll of dice and good genetics, you can have that. Sure, maybe with some makeup, maybe sometimes with a little nip tuck. But at the end of the day, are you an interesting person? Are you a person of standing? Are you somebody who can tell a good story? Are you somebody that's actually going to be worth spending time with? You know, there's so much more to life. I actually have a lot more respect for him with that than I do, you know, because I think, like, you know, who would you rather hang out with and have a conversation with? Mickey Rourke, who can probably tell you all kinds of crazy, cool stories, nutty stories, and just like he's lived a life and he's still living it, or like somebody who spent their entire life in a gym.
No, I think the thing that disappoints me is not like what ends up happening with him in his career, but the way he kind of ended up, like, his career like got hurt because of it, seemingly. And that's the unfair part, because I mean, it didn't affect his acting ability at all. It's your like financial viability or your viability to be sold as an actor anymore. Like, that's the unfortunate part. Like, well, obviously that's fueled by what happened with the movies that he had not being as successful as they were. That's why he took a break. It's just, don't take a break and do boxing. It's like, that's a really, if you want to be a boxer, be a boxer.
Well, you know what? I think he thought, like, I've done it my way and with the face and played the game, and I didn't have any success, and I'm not that interested in the way I look anyway, and I am interested in boxing, and if that removes that and they have to cast me as a fucking palooka with a dumb looking face and I don't get to play the dumb lead in movies that don't work anyway, then fine, then so be it. But it must be stated, however, that Mickey Rourke is no doubt a fucking huge pain in the ass to work with, right? He just seems like he might be a nightmare to work with. So some of those roles might have been going away thanks to him doing that, sort of his behavior on set. Not that it was any problem. Alan Parker reported no problems with him here, but, you know, he seems like a handful.
I don't think there's any problems with him on the Barfly set.
Well, that's probably because that was a movie he loved and wanted to do, you know?
Oh, that movie's so good. I love that movie. Yeah. I don't know. I have such a soft spot for him. I don't know. I said the gym comment. Obviously, athletes spend a lot of times in gyms, but I mean, like, you know, there's to be a difference between somebody who's like this is my body is my work as far as like muscle and movement. You know, the sport of boxing, the art of it. I'm not a big boxing fan, but I mean, I respect it. I worry about people that do boxing because of the head trauma, and especially with stuff like CTE.
Sure.
That's pretty fucking scary. But also I do love, my favorite are boxers though that win and they praise Jesus. Like, that's my it's like, I want to thank my Lord Jesus for like giving this guy head trauma. Like,
let me beat the shit out of this guy. Thank you for letting me knock the ever-loving shit out of this guy to the point where, you know, he's going to have those fun cauliflower ears like Brock Lesnar had.
Yeah. Brock?
I don't want it to seem like I'm beating up on Mickey Rourke here, because I love him. The other thing that Alan Parker said was he was really intimidated by Robert De Niro. And so he was acting extra in the scenes with De Niro. And after every take, Rourke would come back to Parker and let him know who won.
That's fucking rad. I love that.
So he'd be like, yeah, no, he got me in this scene. And then like come back a little later and go, yeah, I think I won by points on this one.
That makes me love him even more. I'm like, hell yeah. That's some manpower debut right there.
I mean, their scenes together are good.
They're very good. Yeah.
Father Malone, final thoughts on Angel Heart.
Read the book Falling Angel by William Hjortsberg. Somebody out there adapt the novel William Hjortsberg's into a new form of entertainment. At the same time, this is a good movie. You can watch it and enjoy it. Yes, you know the ending already. Yes, that is the devil. Like, yeah, everything you think that is obvious, it is. And yet you will still be confused and kind of thrilled by what you're going to see. And Mickey Rourke is gorgeous. And the end.
Heather, what about you?
As the whole, though, I enjoyed it. I think if you are a fan of great cinematography, fantastic lead performances, that retro flavor, which I didn't really mention, but Father Malone, you beautifully did, and I 100% agree. Like, it has that authenticity to it. And if you're a fan of sort of like plots involving deviltry. Yeah, I think it's not obviously, like, there's some minor quibbles, a lot of minor quibbles, but I do think it's absolutely worth the watch. And I think any film that can give you this kind of food for thought is obviously, like, worth your time.
I agree. I enjoyed my time with it. I think it's a fun movie. I think ultimately it is a horror movie, but I think there's a lot more going on. I think the movie's interested in having different conversations, not necessarily just being a horror movie. And Robert De Niro as Louis Cypher is a lot of fun, and Mickey Rourke is too good looking for words and immensely talented, and he carries a movie that I think with another actor would not have worked as well as this one does, because ultimately Mickey Rourke's performance is the thing that grounds the movie, and Mickey Rourke's performance is the reason, other than De Niro's checking in, Mickey Rourke is the reason this movie works as well as it does. So on that note, we'll take a break and we'll play a preview for the Kulturecast of the next Kulturecast.
This is a world where everybody's got to do something. They got to be something. Sometimes I just get tired of thinking of all the things that I don't want to do, all the things that I don't want to be. How come nobody sits next to her?
She's crazy.
Crazy? Oh.
You're the damnedest barfly I've ever seen. Hobbies, none. Religion, none. Education, none. No, what the hell are you doing? The word asks your sex, you've written none.
Well, hardly none.
Your life is just a bunch of can'ts. You can't work, and you can't fight.
I could look at a woman's legs for hours.
I got nothing but time.
You know, every time I get with a woman, something happens.
Stop or I'll fire!
You're Henry Chernasky. I'm one of the main producers of the Contemporary Review of Art and Literature. We've discovered you.
Oh, I had an idea that I'd be discovered after my death.
How does it feel to be on the other end?
I smell it. Perfume.
Where's the bedroom? Baby, look around. It's a cage with golden bars.
Either you get out of here or I'm gonna peel you away from your perfume.
We don't have to be barflies right down to the grave.
Mickey Rourke.
Just one thing. I don't ever want to fall in love.
Faye Dunaway.
Don't worry. Nobody's ever loved me yet.
Barfly. Life on the Edge. As seen by Charles Bukowski. Directed by Barbet Schroeder.
That's right, on the next Kulturecast, we're going to be talking about a movie that Heather's already mentioned, Barfly, featuring Mickey Rourke.
I love Mickey Rourke. He's so gross in this movie. We're talking about Barfly here. He's so fucking disgusting in Barfly.
Really? I thought that was actually the most attractive I've ever found him.
Yeah, I know, but you're unusual. He's
Oh, what?
Listen, what I'm saying is he's the most disgusting you will see him on camera, and yet he's still alluring.
He's highly alluring. Get it? Come on.
Heather. I can't wait to see him playing Charles Bukowski.
I love Charles Bukowski. Not
Same.
like that, though. But I love Henry Chernasky, but played by Mickey Rourke. Yeah, he's... Oh, we'll
You're
save it
allowed
for
to
the
love
episode.
Bukowski that way, but it's more Bukowski loving you that way that becomes the I think that's you're allowed to like him, but the moment he starts liking you, it's like, I'm chill.
Well, especially now because he's dead.
Yeah. Like
very weird.
The corpse of Charles Bukowski haunts your dreams. Smells about the same, frankly.
Oh,
I'm
that's
kidding.
not nice.
I joke.
You're so rude. No, I'm joking.
But I will be joined by Heather and Jess Byard of the Scary Stories We Tell podcast. So until then, Father Malone, where can people find you on the internet?
FatherMalone.com for my video stuff and WeirdingWayMedia.com for all of my audio nonsense, like Dark Destinations, that's an audio drama, or Midnight Viewing, the Night Gallery podcast, which I do with Chris and Mr. Mike White from the projection booth, or Night Mr. Walters, a taxi podcast I do with HP. You can find us there.
Got a lot.
Too much, man. I'm tired.
Tonight's the night. I'm done. No more podcasts. I've made up my mind. Just kidding. Heather, what about you? Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me over at my Linktree. I was inspired by you two cool cats, and as well as the advice of my good friend Rachel McFadden. I am on Linktree. Find me Mondo Heather. There you will find my website, mondoheather.com, my Twitter. I'm not calling it X, it's still Twitter. Instagram, my Patreon, as well as little various things. I did an article recently on Herschel Gordon Lewis's Blood Feast for Arrow Films website. And of course, I'm on a little podcast called Noise Junkies with the lovely and oh so patient Father Malone and the always vivacious HP, and we're working on a new episode coming up for that. So keep your ears tuned and your eyes peeled.
Both.
At the same time.
And as for me, weirdingwaymedia.com is where you can go to find all the things I work on, which are things that Father Malone mentioned, and then Bollywood Cinema Club is a show that I do. Heather's on there pretty frequently. So, all good things, and 80s TV ladies, all kinds of stuff. So yeah. You can find all that at weirdingwaymedia.com. And patreon.com/Kulturecast is where you can go to support the show. 10, 20, and 50 are things that you can do, but rate, and review the show wherever you get it. That helps us find our audience. Father Malone, Heather, thank you both so much for joining me. This has been fun. It's been a minute since the three of us did a podcast together.
It feels like home.
I know, we haven't done it in a while. So on that note, Father Malone, what is the porn parody title for Angel Heart? You thought we were you thought we weren't going to make it, but here we are. I turned over to you. That's gross, man.
Hail the conquering hero. Anal Heart, everybody. Good night.
That's a good one. Heather, you got one better than Anal Heart?
I do.
Oh, here we go. I was fucking prepared.
I actually was going to go with the Anal Heart reference, but then a spark.
Too obvious. I'm the Lewis Cipher of porn parody names.
You are the Lewis Cipher of our heart. And no, because it's funny. Anal Heart, just saying it's hilarious. But I came up with something similar, but in my opinion, I think even better. Anal Lingus Heart.
Wow.
It's the lingus. It's that extra lingus, really. In
memory, Mickey Rourke is Irish, so
yeah.
Go lingus.
Our lingus. God damn it. Both of y'all took both of mine effectively, which is the problem. I was like, oh, there's anal. So
you didn't come up with a backup. You knew we were both going anal.
It's true.
How about Angel Heart On?
What about autoerotic self-asphyxiation heart?
Okay. What about anal? No, not anal. Not anal.
How about it?
Sorry. Angel heart-shaped ass.
That's kind of sweet. That's actually, I think, a little more gentle. She has an angel
heart-shaped ass.
Is that a Nirvana song?
Yeah. Inside my angel heart-shaped ass. So we brought it back to Dave Grohl for you. All the way back to Nirvana and Dave Grohl. We can end this podcast on a happy note, folks.
Oh, well.